Bienvenue to the city of lights and love here in beautiful Paris. We are along the Seine once again in order to enjoy the gorgeous views that this city has to offer. We are along a beautiful area of Paris where we're getting much closer to the Eiffel Tower. We also have Invalides, which is right down there. So there's many other major attractions right around us. But there's a very popular memorial right next to us I want to show you before we wander around Paris. And I'm going to take you for a ride along the boats. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. Super excited to show you Paris today. So let's go to this monument over here. Hello Genevieve, hello Eiffel. Do let me know where you're tuning in from. Oh, how I love the streets of Paris, so gorgeous. And these roadways, you know, Paris, sometimes New York is a bit more associated with a lot of traffic, but Paris has some crazy traffic on its own right. Hello, David. Thank you so much for the £1 super chat. Appreciate that, David. Elisa is tuning in from Oklahoma. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So this is the site of a sad day in history. A little bit more than 20 years ago. If anyone knows the exact date, do let me know. One of the more beloved women in the royal family of the UK was driving right below our feet at an underpass that we see right over here. However, apparently she was being pursued aggressively by paparazzi. She was with her lover, and as they went down under the overpass, a crash ensued and it turned into a fiery blaze. And she lost her life almost immediately. That woman, of course, was Princess Diana, Princess D for short. And this is her memorial right over here. And it says the Flame of Liberty. Or at least people have assumed it to be her memorial. I'm not 100% sure if this flame actually predates Princess Diana. Do let me know. But also looks very similar to the flame that you see at the Statue of Liberty, right over here.
Hier is 16 jaar. Is hier. Oh ja, dat is. Zij is hier dood. Hoe heet zij? Ik heb de kandidaat. In die tunnel hier, hè? Die zijn opgezet. Maar was zij koningin? Daar is het, ja. Was de eigenlijk dit is iets van Diana. Hier op de tunnel, kijk. Hier is Diana.
Thank you so much, Kay. So it was 31 of August of 1997. So yeah, this flame predates the unfortunate passing of Princess Diana, but people have assumed it to be her memorial since. Hello, Brett. You have the best 2 weeks go live. Really, I do? I heard a lot of Parisians take this exact time for vacation, so a lot of them are out of the city, so that's why maybe it seems a bit more calmer than the heat of summer here in Paris. Hey, Michael, thank you so much for tuning in. It says beautiful city on your bucket list. That's awesome to hear. All right. Thank you so much, Neo. So yes, Neo confirms that it is indeed a replica of the flame of the Statue of Liberty. The weather is nice indeed, and I love the beautiful cloudy coverage. Susie says, another interesting shirt today. Oh, thank you so much, Susie. My dad just landed in Paris today from Malta, says Angie. Ooh, Angie. I hope your dad enjoys. That's awesome. Great news. So yeah, the weather is gorgeous today. I made the mistake of actually believing the weather. My weather app said that there was a 70% chance of severe thunderstorms. And so I have my rain jacket with me, and I have a gigantic umbrella in my back pocket. So I'm carrying way too much stuff for a day that's relatively sunny. So let me know, do you actually pay attention to the weather apps? Anyone who travels a lot, do you actually pay attention to it, or you just follow your intuition? Because for me, intuitively, I was like, I don't need my umbrella, I don't need my rain jacket, it's going to be nice weather. But no, the weather app said 70% chance of severe weather. So I was like, oh, maybe my intuition is wrong, but no, it was right. Andrew says, nice shades, where do you purchase them? My shades are from Warby Parker. All the glasses you see me wear thus far, at least for this trip, will be Warby Parker. I've only bought glasses really from one other store, which is called Jimmy Farley. Mika says, I always look at the weather app and take whatever is necessary. Yvonne says, Emily in Paris, yes. A lot of people don't realize, but the title of that Netflix show is supposed to rhyme when you pronounce it in the typical Parisian accent. It's not Emily in Paris, it's Emily in Paris. Hello, Ron, nice to see you. Raphael, welcome. Brett says, will you be going to the Eiffel Tower this time? I think I am. I may go live when I go up there. Stay tuned. Tickets are very hard to get, so I wasn't unable to get tickets all the way to the top. I was able to get tickets to the mid-level. Andrew tuning in from France himself. Oh, cool. Andrew, thank you so much for tuning in from Paris. That's awesome. Robo from London, welcome. Greg says, weather changes fast in the springtime, and it could get cold and warm in a short time. Yeah, I have that feeling here in Paris. You know, the weather actually, New York is sometimes a bit more predictable because when it rains the entire day, in essence. But when it comes to France and England, UK, Ireland, these places sometimes, it might rain just for a little bit and then it'll dry out. And then rain a little bit and then dry out. Gary says, in Scotland, we usually dress for the weather we like to have rather than the actual weather. Oh, So it's all wishful thinking. Okay, here we got Dodge gigantic buses. So right now we're in the area of the tour buses. Who wants to join the random tour bus? Let me know. We can join the random tour bus. And then suddenly we end up taking their flight with them. And I'm suddenly in China for some random reason. Let me know if you want to go on that adventure. Christine sent a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Danette says, Urbanist, your channel is so good. Thank you so much for all you do and show. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Joe says, I didn't sleep to catch the stream. Joe, is it very early where you're at? You're in Midwest time, I think. Guy says, how am I along in Paris? Next week will be a different place. Next week will be a different place. Hello, Wendy. Welcome. Chris says, just skip the tour bus. All right. We'll go right to the boat then. Bateau mouche, which means mosquito boat. All right, let's get on the mosquito boat, which is anything but the size of a mosquito. It's a massive, gigantic boat. And let's board it. Who wants to get on the boat? Let me know. Cue the Lonely Island song. Okay, Google, play I'm on the Boat by Lonely Island. Alexa, play I'm on the Boat by Lonely Island. Bonjour. Merci. Maureen, nice to see you here. Susie says my Alexa's hard of hearing. Oh no. And all my shenanigans go unheard. Bonjour. Bonjour. Brett says, how do you see the screen in this weather? The iPhone 13 is fairly clear, which is awesome. So I don't usually have issues. Chris says, what shoes am I wearing? Converses, but like a fancy leather Converse. Looks like a dress shoe, kind of. Or dress boots. Gary says, you must do the Scottish accent in order to speak to our Alexa. Yes, indeed. Here's the restrooms. Let's see if this is air conditioned. I doubt it. The French don't like air conditioning. But there is the upper deck. So this is Bateau mouche. If anyone is French tuning in right now, do let me know the exact pronunciation. But it's only 15 euro. Used to be cheaper. Now it's 15 euro. For adult, it's a bit cheaper for kids. And you don't really need to reserve because, as you can see, the boat is way bigger than the name says. It's not quite the size of a mosquito. It's the size of a gigantic mutated cockroach that has survived a nuclear bomb. So yeah, it's that big. That's why you don't need any reservations. You could just show up and come right here. It's right by that flame memorial, which is the Alma Marceau. Don't know how to pronounce the second part of the train station stop, but Alma stop on the metro line. but here it's hot, so I'm gonna stick outside. Ah, beautiful Paris. Oh, mouche is okay. Okay, so we're getting a clarification. Mouche actually means fly. Mosquito means mosquito, so fly. Still much bigger than a fly. Chris says, I love that the live streams are back and that you are in Europe. I'm so happy to be in Europe. I'm gonna stick to the shade. We're gonna depart very soon. Depart in the sense that the boat is gonna embark onto the beautiful Seine for a nice hour ride through this river. We'll see what sights are visible from here. I assume we're going to see the Eiffel Tower, which we see right now. We're going to see Notre Dame. We're going to see many other places that are along the waterfront. How was your dinner last night, says Irene? It was really good. It was really, really, really good, actually. I went to a bistro called Bistro Rougemont, which might be in Red Mountain, and it was really awesome. Joe, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate that. Says, say hi to your parents. So yes, I am on a family trip. I'm not solo traveling this time around. I've met up with 2 friends of mine, but I'm traveling with family. So yes, I had dinner with family. It was awesome. I'm still doing my own thing. I'm still working here, but it's nice to spend time with family abroad. So here's another boat. Not sure which one this one's called. Let's see. Bateau Parisien. Parisian boat. Hey, Roma says, La cena, c'è spettacolo. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Bienvenuti a Paris. What's the temperature there? So it's about 64 degrees Fahrenheit, but it is very sunny and humid, so it's feeling a little bit hotter than that. But it's also windy. Feel free to ask me any questions as we're waiting for the boat to depart in about like 10 or so minutes. Departs at 3:30. Chris says, I love Paris. A lazy day in Paris is the best. Oh, yes. Clouds are looking spectacular today. This is a great photo opportunity. You would need a much better camera in order to capture the Eiffel Tower a little bit better dynamic range, but it is looking gorgeous. What camera do you use, says Dims? I use an iPhone 13 Pro to the max extreme. Susie says, hotel or Airbnb this time? I'm staying in Airbnb. My family's staying in a hotel. I might recommend each later on. Stay tuned. Miss Love says, did I hear correctly that you'll be in London? No London tomorrow. I'll be within the country of France, but no London. Hello, Susie. Mr. A says, have fun. I will. How long are you staying in Europe, says Veronique. 2 weeks in Europe. Are protests going on, Angela? No protests. Well, protests are going on. There's nothing happening anywhere around what you would see in the touristy areas of Paris. Nothing. So I haven't encountered anything yet. This is the beauty of live streaming. You wait. It's engaging content, right? Super fascinating. Action-packed, ain't it? Hey ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you see me and hear me now. Once again, unfortunately having issues with my SIM card, my SIM card for France. So let me know if you see me and hear me once again. We are off. Are we back, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know. Beautiful bridges. Something happened. Service lapsed. But now we're off. The boat is all good. And we are along the Seine. Q Jacques Brel. The National Assembly building we see right here behind the trees. Andrew says, fashion started in Paris. Can you find out more about this? Yeah, I'll find if there's a location about the start of fashion. But yes, fashion did start in Paris as we know it today. First with the royalty in Versailles, started many fashion trends that would be adopted by many of the higher class of France, and then later on the rest of mainland Europe. And then later on in the 1900s, the luxury fashion to like the masses started also here in Paris with companies like Christian Dior, Chanel, Coco Chanel, and many others. Fat Cat says, I'm loving this boat trip. Yeah, I've done boat trips before, shown it twice before on these live videos, but the other two times I went during the sunset. I think it's rather nice to go during the daytime. And I used a different service last time. It was called Bateau Bus. But Bateau Bus, I think, is a bit more expensive. So I decided to try this one out, see how it is. I'm curious about that building. I don't know too much about that building. What building is this? Ah, so lovely. The views of Paris. Here's one of the more modern bridges here in Paris. Reconstructed, or is it completely new? Let me know in the comments. And who made it? I think a famous architect made this one. Here, so here we have Orsay. This is a stop of one of the other boat rides. Bateau Bus actually makes stops, like a hop on, a hop off bus, but on the boat. Now, the Musée d'Orsay is very interesting because this was one of the train stations here in Paris. Later on, these train stations did not come to too much use because they pushed the train stations further into the outer perimeter of the city. That's why Gare du Nord, Gare d'Est, Gare de Lyon, they're all on the outer perimeters of the city. So Musée d'Orsay stood vacant until it was converted into a museum. And it's a gorgeous museum at that. Also has a great collection of Vincent van Gogh, which I filmed for Super Urbanist last year. So if you want to get access to those videos, go to patreon.com/urbanist. Here we're passing one of the bridges. Yeah. Oh, admire the beautiful architecture. So in the mid-1800s, Paris was a slimy, crowded, chaotic city that was constantly ravaged by revolutions, by crime, and by disease. So the Emperor Napoleon III, the very last emperor of France, decided to do away with all of those ailments upon this city, the capital of the French Empire. He hired George Eugene Haussmann to demolish most of the ancient city or the medieval city of Paris and make it new. So what we're seeing here today is the grand vision of George Eugene Haussmann, Napoleon III, and the other architects and engineers they worked with to redesign Paris from scratch. They made it into like a wheel system. So Paris emanates from the Arc de Triomphe, and the grand boulevards are the spokes on the wheel. All this architecture that we're seeing today along the Seine, the majority of it is from the mid-1800s. So Paris isn't as old as one would think. It's only maybe 20 or 30 years old than most of the development we see in parts of Manhattan, for example. Maureen with the $20 super chat. Nice. Hey, Maureen has been so kind enough to give a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Round of hearts for Maureen. Hope you're doing well, Maureen. Hope you're healing well over there in Florida. As we're enjoying the views here, I want to offer a moment of silence. A dear viewer that was watching the past 2 years, her name was Patty, and she was from Oregon. And she was watching nearly every single live stream, whatever time zone I was in. May it be the ones in Mexico, to the ones in Greece and Italy, to the ones in Seattle and the Alps in France. Patty sent me a message about a month ago saying, I'm going to hospice, and she just wanted to say goodbye. It was, I never gotten such a message. It was the first time I've ever received such a message. And I knew it was coming because Patty related to me that she was so happy that she was able to travel the world as she was battling through cancer at her hospital because she was in intensive care, at least at some point, while watching these live streams. So moment of silence to Patty. I'm not 100% sure what ended up happening, but I'm under the assumption with that message that she might no longer be with us. But we randomly end up going to Cork, Ireland, to Galway, Ireland, and I got to show her the area where her granddaughter was living, which was very nice. So she got connected with her granddaughter, in essence, through seeing the city that she's living in while watching my live streams. So, and many other awesome moments. She was from the Pacific Northwest, so she was happy to see Seattle. So moment of silence for Patty. May you rest in peace, Patty. Let's check out what we can see from the back. Look at the beautiful faces, the grotesques is what they call it on the bridge. Oh, wow. Hey, Neo says, we saw a building right next to the Museo d'Orsay that has been said to inspire the White House. That's fascinating. I will look into that. Thank you so much, Neo. I wouldn't doubt it because here in Paris was the École des Beaux-Arts, still here to this day. It's a school of architecture and engineering. And it trained some of the top architects in early American history. I'm not sure about the guy exactly who designed the White House, but definitely trained Stanford White in New York City. Charles McKim, who designed the Morgan Library. You should be seeing a video about that very soon on all my shorts platforms. So I might do a video about the École des Beaux-Arts. Stay tuned. It's any story behind those face images? You know, I don't know for sure, but in general, they're called grotesques. So, so in general, they're just like general beings, sometimes malevolent and sometimes benevolent. I'm sure one can actually trace mythologically which one's which. Hey, Dr. Tachi, nice to see you here. Welcome. Ooh, gorgeous building right over here. Ariel, I bought a Boulevard watch in your honor, says Joe. Hey, Joe, that's so cool. That's awesome to hear. I'm actually wearing one today. I will be making a video about this watch here in Paris. Stay tuned. It's called the watch that won the war. It's the Boulevard Hack watch. You'll learn more about it soon and the liberation of Paris in the short video. So if you enjoy my live streams, consider watching my shorts as well on YouTube, same channel. Instagram is Urbanist Live. Facebook, I also post them Urbanist Live as well. And TikTok, TikTok is by my name, Ariel Vera. Kay says the White House was designed by James Hoban from Kilkenny. Oh yes. Wow, this is a photo opportunity. That's a great photo opportunity. Oh my God, this bridge was built by Netscape, the old browser company. I'm joking, probably not. No, definitely not. But that end looks almost exactly like the end from the old logo of Netscape. Dr. Teshi says the reception is superb. Superb. Yes, it is. Danielle says, did he start as live streams or shorts? Danielle, I have a very long history of doing live streams, way before shorts. City far away, I started live streaming places all around the world, showing people the sights, the sounds, and describing the smells in excruciating detail. Through hours upon hours or hundreds of hours of live streaming, I slowly and gradually gained the skills to tell a story off the cuff, no script, no notes, and tell it in an engaging way in a minute or less. That is my origin story. That's how I started doing shorts. Oh, this is a cool bridge. What is this, copper? Brass? Wow. I walked along this bridge. I think the first live stream I did, we walked along this bridge, but I did not notice the metal that it was made with. That is amazing. More info on this bridge. Stat. Googlers, go, go, go. Gonzalo says they did not stand for Netscape, it standed for Napoleon. Thank you so much, Napoleon. Yeah. That's why the N is everywhere. You'll see the N also in the Louvre. So right there we see the Cathedral of Notre Dame, right there being construction. We are passing by the Ile de la Cité right here. This is an island tucked in the middle of the Seine. Janet says, I missed 2 super chats. Hey, let me know who were the super chatters. Service is a bit weird, so I might be missing some comments. Notre Dame, it was built in 1163. Thank you so much, Leia. Wow, sometimes it's really crazy to think how old it is. Let me know who left super chats. Copy and paste their message. I would be so appreciative. Here seems to be the temporary offices of the construction of Notre Dame. Really cool. They made this temporary building. Ludo says it was from Brett and Chris. Brett and Chris, thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying beautiful Paris. I know you guys have enjoyed many other places. It's Brett from 2Ts from England and Chris from the US. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, waters are starting to get rough. Who wants to swim? Maybe go down to the depths, find a nice piece of sturgeon. Hopefully that sturgeon is filled with a lot of eggs so we can eat some caviar. Chris says, I just wanted to say that your videos provide so much that they're unable, so much to those that are unable to travel. So much joy for those who are able, inspiration to get that out there as well. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. So right here, Ile de la Cité. It's an entire island. Right there we see what is like a Holocaust memorial at the end. No, I think it's a memorial to the North African men that lost their lives, some incident. Very interesting memorial, very somber. Something happened in this area, I'm not 100% sure. Miss Lob says, I guess they'll celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I know, shockingly. Shockingly, no one's drinking margaritas here. I have no idea why. How dare they insult the great non-Mexican, actually American culture. How dare they insult that? Susie says, you brought a lot of joy. Hey, Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi with a $20 super chat saying, enjoy a great croissant and a café. Un café on me. Thank you so much. Café au lait, which means coffee with milk. I really don't like milk too much, so I usually order what's called a café allongé, which is a long shot of espresso. So thank you so much, Dr. Tachi. $19 covers like 8 croissants and coffees, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. So what would you guys prefer? Do you prefer me to have one at a time, or do you prefer me to have 8 shots of espresso with 8 croissants at once? Vote now. NYC in Paris says, how did you learn Spanish? I came out of the womb knowing Spanish. NYC in Paris, I know Spanish, that's my first language. Both of my parents are native Spanish speakers. My entire family is native Spanish speakers. I started learning English officially in kindergarten, but from a very early age I was exposed to Spanish. And I think here right now we are seeing Ile de la Saint Louis, another island tucked in the middle of the Seine. Edith says enjoy. Wendy says one at a time sounds rude. Dr. Techi says please all at once. The super chatter has spoken. Joe says keep the sarcasm coming. Joe, and anyone who has this impression that I'm sarcastic, I don't know what you're talking about. Frankly, I'm tired of people thinking that this is not a serious show, thinking that this is all jokes and sarcasm and lighthearted adventure. No, these are meticulously planned live streams. This is we go into philosophical and architectural discourse. This is serious stuff, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Serious. We're exploring the beautiful essence of Paris. This is not a joke. This is not something to take lightly, okay? I hope you, okay. All right, good. Someone's playing some French music there in the distance. Hey! Nancy says, so wonderful, my dream. Making coffee right now. Ooh, do make a good. If you like it with milk, café au lait. If you like it without milk, make a good café allongé. NYC in Paris says it's very professional. Yes, indeed. No, I hear reggaeton. I gotta go on the other side. DS says I straighten all you guys out. Hey, Mr. Ray says, wow, we're similar. My family's from Valencia and my name is Ariel as well. We both speak Spanish. Oh, cool. Ariel must be a rare name in Spain. Well, unless if it's a Jewish community. But yeah, Ariel's a bit more common in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. So here we see some new buildings. That's really cool, like a new building right next to these older Parisian buildings. Dr. Techi says, where does the ferry go? So the ferry is a sightseeing trip. It's 1 hour, it doesn't make any stops. It goes from where we started back to where we started. Look at the beautiful corners of these buildings. Wow. Hey, Macaulay says, nice to see you here. So now I think we're going to go on the other side of the two islands we passed. Ile de la Cité and Ile de la Saint-Louis. So now we're going to see a different side of Paris. By different side means a slightly, slightly more to the left, as opposed to where we came from. Oryx says, will you visit the Louvre? You know, I've done extensive videos on the Louvre, so check out my video from last year of the Louvre. I don't think I'll be going back to the Louvre. After my last attempt at attempting a heist at the Louvre in order to get the Mona Lisa, I don't think I'm allowed to go back in. Oh, I mean, yeah, I've been there quite enough. Wendy says, when will you do a live stream? No schedule, I have no idea. Maybe I'll do one. Stay tuned. Is Notre Dame completely restored? No, Irene. Still about a year left. Ludo says, everything looks beautiful. Yes, it does indeed. Zoom in a little bit. Hey, Chris says, I would like to just have a baguette and some cheese and a glass of wine on the Champs-Élysées. That sounds amazing. Is drinking technically legal in Paris outside? Let me know. Hey, Michael says, great video. I was there last week. Visit the Latin Quarter. Yeah, Latin Quarter is gorgeous. I visited briefly yesterday on the live stream, and I've done a little bit more in-depth tours of the Latin Quarter last year, 2022. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome to hear. It is a beautiful city. I think it's very rare people who say who don't enjoy it. I think generally people who say they might not enjoy it come here for a little bit too short of a time, don't get properly acclimated to both the pace of the city. So if you are a city dweller, you live in a big city, anywhere around the world, you can, I would say Paris, you'll get used to it fairly quickly. But if you're not from the city, I would recommend allotting a few more days, at least a week in Paris. I think you'll gather the highest amount of enjoyment if you do at least 1 week, if you're not from a major city, if you don't live there, if you didn't grow up in the major city, because big cities are quite intense if you're not used to them. I don't mean to sound patronizing, this is just a simple fact of life. Suburban areas and rural areas are much more slower pace of life. Cities, there's a lot of noise, a lot of traffic, a lot of people, a lot of different people from all different walks of life. So you see a lot of variety of people, a lot of different personalities. There's a lot of stuff going on and there's a lot of stimulus. So if you're not used to that high level of stimulus, it's good to come here for a few days more than usual in order to chill out and enjoy Paris a little bit more and not be so rushed. I think that's why when you do hear someone negatively experiencing Paris, that might be the case. Right here we have the Hôtel de Ville, gigantic governmental building. Hôtel means city hall, in this case, not a hotel to have lodging. And then the other thing is getting acclimated to the culture. So if you're not from mainland Western Europe or Southern Europe, Parisian culture might be a bit different from what you're used to. So it is nice to have those 1 or 2 or 3 days to get used to a little bit to the culture. Wendy says, this is your 49th time in Paris. No, I've been to Paris a total of 4 times, 5 times. I came almost 10 years ago for the first time, July 2013. I actually traveled with my family as well, which was very nice. So this is almost the 10-year anniversary of us. Last time we traveled abroad together. Those guys are saying Netscape, Netscape, because this is the Netscape bridge. Netscape, Netscape. Netscape is making a comeback. Napoon Sir says, for a budget traveler, backpacker, is 1 week reasonable? So Paris might be expensive for airfare if you're coming from across the pond or from Asia. And it might be expensive for lodging. But the moment you're here, you can go very budget if you want to, super budget. Paris is similar to New York and London, where there is the entire spectrum. But unlike New York and London, the average is much lower than those two cities. So even to dine, sit down, relax at a brasserie in order to have a lunch or a dinner, good soup, onion soup, and a beef bourguignon, the beef stew, it won't cost you. It will cost you usually half of what it will cost you in New York or other major cities in the U.S. like Seattle or Chicago. Definitely cheaper than London too. But the cool thing is, if you want to go very cheap, you can. It is possible to go to the boulangeries, grab yourself a €3 sandwich that is fresh, chicken sandwich, tuna sandwiches they have, ham and cheese sandwiches, and they are amazing. Way higher quality than your average sandwich in the average bakery in New York. Kat says, what's your next adventure? You gotta tune in. There's one hint for the next place. Though there might be some challenges in the next place which I did not anticipate. So crossing fingers, I'll be able to live stream. But there's only one hint for this next place. If you know the hint, feel free to repeat in the comments, but I'm not saying anything more. Otherwise, you have to look back in the older videos of this past week in order to listen to the hint. So right here, we're passing by the world famous museum, the home of the Mona Lisa and many other famous artworks like the Angel of Samothrace. This is the Louvre. Paul says we have 70s in Pennsylvania. That's awesome. Joe says Ariel's going to Jersey City. Joe, indeed, you guessed correctly. Oh, damn it, Joe. Joe ruined it for everyone. Joe cracked the code. He found out that it was Jersey City. Group excursion. No, not really like traveling in groups. I love making videos. Never really been a fan of like doing in-group events. So that's why I really don't do them. But I'm happy to recommend any if any of my friends end up doing, because I have a few influencer friends that do that. The locations were amazing though. Hello, Ariel. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Because she does group tours before, so hope all is well back there in New York. Almo says I barely seen a mime while we're here in Paris. You know, it is quite shocking. Going to a different country for the next week's live streams. Want to so a bit shaky service here, but the top night, c'est la vie, enjoy, says Roxanne with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Roxanne. A round of hearts to Roxanne for a whopping. The equivalent, if we were to do the croissant to US dollar exchange rate, that is the equivalent of about 7.2 croissants. Thank you so much, Roxanne, for the 7.2 croissants. That's the official exchange rate at the moment for croissants to US dollars. So the boat is only empty on the bottom, but on the top, a lot of seats are filled up. I think these boats might get even more packed. So I think if you come here during sunset on the weekend, so later tonight, probably get very full. 10:30 p.m. So boats run pretty late. If you come here in the middle of June, this will probably also be very, or like the first week of July, probably be very packed. Susie says, where are Marcel Marceau? You know, I gotta learn more about that mime artist. But yeah, one of the more famous mime artists of history. I think he trained a very famous actor. I forgot who it was. So right now we're passing at the end of the Tuileries Gardens, and now we see the obelisk that is with the Arc de Triomphe, which would be that way. Ron says, will this head to Staten Island? Yeah, we'll get there maybe in 105 hours or so. All right. Streams. New York, because I'll be back in New York in June, and there's going to be a bonanza of boat streams. They won't be on my channel, but I will let everyone know what the exact schedule will be. I'll be on the Classic Harbor Line YouTube channel to do boat streams all along the New York Harbor, learning all about different facets of history, architecture, engineering, and biology and marine biology. We're going to cover a whole host of topics on the New York Harbor ways. And I'm so excited that they're hiring me to host these live streams through the New York Harbor. Fun. I just checked. The exchange rate has risen. So now, inflation. So now Maria, luckily, has given me 7.3 croissants. Thank you so much, Maria, for the 7.3 croissants. The exchange rate has changed. And the economy is crazy nowadays, so things are going up and down. Ron says, why not multi-stream? That's to be announced. But do follow on Classic Harbor Lines. Oh, and Ron, it's not really possible to multi-stream to 2 YouTube channels at the same time. I wish it were, but no. I wish there was like a collaborator feature on YouTube, but that is not the case. But there is a small chance it might also pop up on Urbanist Live Facebook. So here we have the dinner cruises of the same boat company, Bateau Mouche. So there is like a lunch cruise and there is a dinner sunset cruise. And there might be a night one as well with champagne and things like that. So here is the dinner cruises. I looked at the reviews. The reviews are pretty good. It seems like a good romantic thing to do. As with most things in Paris, the food in general is better than the US. Don't expect the most mind-blowing food. And don't expect the most mind-blowing champagne either. But I would say it'll be a pretty good bet to enjoy for a nice romantic night out at Bateau Mouche. Wow! Annette leaving a whopping $25 super chat. Thank you so much, Annette. $25 super chat. Thank you so much. 18.5 croissants. That's so kind of you to leave that many croissants on the table. Thank you so much, Annette. $25. Round of hearts for Annette for giving a whopping huge super chat. I appreciate that. Do a dinner cruise with your family. That might be actually a good idea. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Megan Daly with the $5 super chat. Hey, Megan Daly. Thank you so much for the 4.7 croissants. I appreciate that. Leo says that's a lot of croissants. Yeah, I'm going to be very full by the end of this trip. Brad says, is Dutch Moz with you? No, I wish Dutch Moz would come over to Europe. I hope he does at some point soon. I think he would enjoy Europe. I think he would especially enjoy Tivoli Gardens. He said that he's always willing to come. I'm not sure where we're going now. I think we're getting closer to the Eiffel Tower. Wow, this trip is long. Let's cross over to the other side. Sorry, excusez-moi.
Cet assemblage métallique de 3 étages et d'un éclairage ingénieux
All right, right here. So there is a guide in French. That's what we're hearing right now. Wendy says, "Well, you add a sausage roll. I wish I could, but we are not in the great country of the United Kingdom." Oh, we hear a little bit of English. That's cool. It's in 2 languages. Oh, in Spanish too? Wow.
Questa struttura dotata di un ingegnoso sistema di illuminazione sopravvenuto a quelli
Wow, even Italian.
nel 1920
They're literally doing every language.
in funzione del 1914.
Der Eiffelturm. Der Eiffelturm wurde zu Beginn des Jahrhunderts von Ingenieur Gustav
German as well? Oh, wow.
Weltausstellung gebaut. Heute ist der Eiffelturm aber zu einer der beliebtesten und am meisten fotografierten Sehenswürdigkeit geworden, die gerne besucht wird. Vom obersten Stockwerk hat man in 310 Meter Höhe einen wunderschönen Ausblick über die Stadt.
左贤是埃菲尔铁塔，铁塔是本世纪初古斯塔夫·埃菲尔。
All right, in Mandarin as well, ladies and gentlemen. We have literally every language. Only
而原来的照明是
400 languages to go.
自一战起，铁塔一直被作为发射塔。
À tribord, quartier de Chaillot, la colline aux 8 musées. Son palais abrite les musées de l'homme, de la marine, des monuments français et du cinéma. Ce quartier abrite aussi de nombreuses ambassades et résidences.
To starboard, the Chaillot Court, 8 Museum Hill. Chaillot Palace houses the museums of Line, of the Navy, of French monuments, and of the cinema. There are also many embassies and private residences here.
A estribor, el barrio Chaillot alberga actualmente el Museo del Hombre, el de la Marina, el de los Monumentos de Francia y el del Cine. La visita comprende también el Teatro de Chaillot, la Explanada del Hombre y los Juegos de Agua.
Della Marina, dei monumenti francesi e del cinema. Questo quartiere è inoltre sede di numerose ambasciate e di eleganti dimore.
Erbaut Stadtviertel Chaillot. Heute sind hier das Anthropologische Museum, das Marinemuseum, das Museum der französischen Baudenkmäler und das Kinomuseum untergebracht. In diesem Stadtviertel liegen ebenfalls zahlreiche Botschaften und Residenzen.
右贤是沙幼区，
Yeah,
这里
Joe,
是张巴纳博物馆高地。
Chris mentioned how it's good that they're not overloading you with information. Yeah, they're keeping it simple, which is nice, especially with a road trip like
博物
this.
馆的所在地。这个区还有众多的使馆和住宅。
Hey, Lorraine asks, have I ever eaten escargot? Oh, Lorraine. Oh, Lorraine. I eat that like on a daily basis when I'm in Paris. I love escargot. It's literally the best dish that there is here in Paris. It's amazing. Escargot, for anyone who doesn't know, are snails.
Disembarking. It is named after the Battle of 1942 and a few Free French of 30.
Oh, interesting. There's a high-rise district here. What is this? Let me know. I remember being curious about this last time I came to Paris, but I never looked into it. So if anyone knows what the name of this area is, do let me know.
Proviene da una battaglia del 1942.
Brücke Disembarking. Die Brücke wurde nach der heldenhaften Schlacht von 1942 der Freien Franzosen benannt.
比哈盖伦桥，这座桥因1942年那场战役和科尼将军领导自由法兰西战士而得名。
Let me know, would you go on this elevator right over here?
Qui a subi une manhattanisation dans les années 70.
The Pont de Seine, a former industrial area, which underwent a Manhattanization in the 70s.
Oh, they're talking about it now.
El Pont de Seine, antiguo barrio industrial, que sufrió transformaciones profundas en el transcurso de los años 70.
A bordo, il fronte della Senna, questo ex
Okay, so this is the old industrial area that has gone recently through what they call Manhattanization. So a lot of high rises have been built here. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The kaiju is now rising from the depths of the Seine, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually going to, this live stream is now going to turn into Cloverfield, Paris edition. Oh, it's just their name. If anyone out there has some sort of direct personal connection with the Eiffel Tower, do reach out to me on Instagram, Urbanist Live, because it's hard to get tickets. I did not think about it. Wasn't able to get tickets to go all the way to the very top. But if someone somehow has a super personal connection, do let me know. My intention is to film a short video that might like the free press. So if you do let me know. Or if you know someone who I might be able to reach out to, do let me know. Is the Seine too filthy to swim in? I think it is, yeah. I think it is. I wouldn't recommend it. You say this, James says this is a nice double layer bridge. Yeah, I like the look of this. I think the top layer might be a train line. I think this was where Inception was filmed. And Leo was teaching the character, I forgot the character's name, but she was teaching the character right here how to manipulate the dreams. I think it kind of looks like it. Megan says, was the area that you just looked at called La Défense? No, La Défense actually is far outside the city limits. It's located, I think, a few miles. I forgot how many miles exactly, but a few miles outside of Paris city limits. So it's pretty far away. To get there by subway, you can get there via the metro. It'll take you maybe 20 minutes or so from the city center. So it is pretty far out. No, so we're seeing a different district, which is now called La Défense, which is the skyscraper district on Greater Paris. Here the buildings are shorter than that area. So this is the famous Eiffel Tower, built for the 1889 Exposition Universelle. That was the World's Fair of Paris back in the day. Gustave Eiffel had a bright idea in order to build a tower so big it would astonish the world. And this also came right in the same time as the development of steel was becoming easier and easier to build taller and taller. He was actually directly inspired by a exposition in New York City in 1853, the Crystal Palace exposition, where right next to the Crystal Palace was the Latin Observatory. At that moment in time, it was one of the tallest structures in all of New York, and it kind of looked like this one, except it was, I think, built out of wood instead. But that exposition was also crucial for another invention, back in New York City in 1853, because later on, this tower would commission also premiered their new technology for elevators back in New York City. Standing at 300 meters tall, and the beating the Washington Monument, which at the time was the tallest structure on Earth. However, New York came back with a vengeance. In 1929, the Eiffel Tower was no longer standing tall. It was the Chrysler Building. And then quickly thereafter, the Empire State Building. So no one messes with New York. Damn right. Gex asks, why is Paris so famous? You know, that is an excellent question. And I think it's a good question to ask. Because it illuminates, I think, a lot of great things that Paris has done in terms of urban design. One of the factors that Paris is popular, I think the most obvious one, is geographic location. Paris is pretty much one of the major cities and one of the more easier cities to access in Europe. Europe is a continent with nearly 800 million people, so it is a massive population. That's one thing. Paris, another reason is that it is actually a connecting point for a lot of flights that go to the US, to North America, and to Asia. So it proves to also be an easy place to travel to via flight. So that might have been a big factor starting in the 1940s, 50s. I think the other factor is the urban design. 1850s, Paris was basically built from scratch by George Eugene Haussmann. And this design makes Paris look impeccably beautiful, any direction you would go. That uniform design makes Paris look like an outdoor museum. And I think that has captured the awe and the curiosity of people all around the world. The other factor is this, the Eiffel Tower we're seeing right here. Standing at 300 meters tall, 1889. This would have most likely been written about and shown in illustrations and photographs all around the world. Anywhere that had press in the newspaper probably saw this gigantic tower and knew Paris because of it. Similar to New York with its skyscrapers, Paris had fame because of its Eiffel Tower. And then lastly, the other reason might be a little bit more interesting in some respects is World War II. Paris during World War II was actually a major tourist destination for the Germans coming here in droves to visit Paris and end up becoming their playground. Not just for German soldiers and the German military, but for German citizens. They came here in droves to visit Paris. I think that also drove the interest in Paris in that area of Europe as well. So I think all those factors combined has led Paris to really become the most visited city in the entire world. After that, it's like London and Thailand and New York. But Paris is still number one. Hey, Tammany, nice to see you here. I'm glad you're tuning in. Hey, Careful Crabs. I've been following you for a while. Really appreciate that you're doing this. I'm really glad you seem to be having a wonderful day. I am. Thank you so much. Clara says, have you become more of a YouTube Shorts channel? Clara, you know, at the moment I'm doing a lot of shorts. I may always change. I love the shorts format. So yes, I intend on doing way more shorts. Am I a shorts channel? I'm not sure if I would put myself into a box. I am more than shorts. I am more than live streams. I am a man, Clara. A breathing, living man with thoughts and feelings like everyone else. Sharon, thank you so much for tuning in. Sharon says a $5 super chat. This stream is uplifting my spirits. Oh, I'm so happy, Sharon. I feel a Paris trip coming on. Have a coffee on me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will have $5 is about 4 something coffees. So I appreciate that. I will have those 4 coffees on you. Thank you so much. With all these super chats, I'm going to be extremely caffeinated and have a massive blood sugar rush with all the croissants. Thank you so much. Clara says, do you remember me? Long time no see. Hey, Clara. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Again, I know you tuned in many years ago as well. And do remind me, was it also on Facebook? Wayne says, no, it's easy to get here from Australia. It's not so easy to get here from Australia. Yeah, of course, yeah. There are certain limitations. Paris is also not yet that well connected with South America either. But there's major population centers in Europe, Asia, and North America that's very well connected to via direct flights. So it's very convenient for tourism as well. Love this boat and all the beautiful views, says Miss Mika. Maria says, you are indeed a Renaissance man. Oh, thank you so much, Maria. Okay, I think the rain might be finally coming. One day I will get to visit Paris, says Serena. Oh, I hope you end up getting to visit Paris. That'll be amazing. What bus is, what boat is this? This looks cool. It's pretty empty. Look at that. Bateau de Paris. So here we have another boat. I think people are exiting already. Oh, wow. Almost don't want to leave. That was amazing. It's getting cloudy, yeah. Rain is coming. People says they want to see an OOTD. What am I wearing? I'm wearing just basically Converse, black jeans, and this shirt. That's it. James says it's great. It's a great camera to catch such details of the Eiffel Tower. It really is, yeah. Yeah, it really is a great camera. So in order to get tickets for this, you can go online directly to the Bateau Mouche website. If anyone wants to put in the link right now, or any of the moderators want to put in the link right now, feel free to do so. But you really don't need to necessarily, and you don't need to reserve a specific time. You can just show up. I'm going to show you the ticketing area. I hope everyone really enjoyed this live stream and this adventure through the Seine River. It's a gorgeous river. I absolutely love being here in Paris. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll be showing you, another beautiful place somewhere in this country. who knows where, at 3 p.m. Western European time, 9 a.m. New York City time. If you have any last remaining questions as we disembark and I show you the entrance to the boat, do let me know. And I missed the Pont Alexandre and the Grand Palais. I think we saw the Grand Palais. I zoomed in the camera, and the Pont Alexandre we definitely passed it, so you might be able to go back. Ms. Lob says, hands in the air like you just don't care. Indeed. Congrats, Ariel, for 340 subs. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Joe. Am I crowning the king, says Wendy. You know, I was not called in to crown the king, even though I've been offered the archbishopship. I'm not sure how one says the title, having the title of archbishop, but even though I was offered to be the Archbishop of Canterbury, you know, I'm like, no, guys, I can't dedicate that much time to spend in some little town, little city in England. I gotta do my thing. So I was like, no, I can't be. So I'm here, not Archbishop of the Anglican Church. I'm joking, of course. I was never offered such a job, nor am I Anglican. I'll make sure to take the boat next time when I'm in Paris, says Joe. James, yes, definitely do. Definitely do. Accessibility, you know, I'm not 100% sure. I think you can get on this level accessibly. The upper level, I don't think is doable. But there should be accessibility to this main level. So basically, the entire stream, we were at this area. We're going to see right now if I don't think any steps were required to get here. Let's see. We have this boat. That's so cool. You can rent out a boat. That's awesome. Isaac. I'm using an iPhone 13 Pro to the max extreme. Prism Live Studio is the app. Camilla says, are you going underwater? You know, I would love to one day figure out how to do an underwater live stream. Luciano says, have I watched Jacques du Molay, last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, was burned alive in the Ile de la Cité. Oh, Luciano, I don't know that history right now, but I will look into that. That's very fascinating. Thank you so much. Almo says, it's been a ride. Oh, indeed it has. Isabel says, thank you so much. Beautiful sightseeing with you. Oh, thank you so much. If you want to get postcards from Europe, feel free to become a mega urbanist. Urbanist.com. Oh, sorry. Patreon.com/urbanist. And right now I'm waiting for everyone to disembark, so stay tuned. Patreon.com/urbanist. And then if you want up to 60% off hotels anywhere around the world, Paris, New York, London, Rome, Bali, Tokyo, you can go to my own link. You get up to 60% off because I have the hookup of rates that are generally safe for corporate companies. It's book.justwander.com/@Ariel Vieira. It's complicated, so right now write !hotels and the link will pop up on YouTube and on Facebook. If Kay could do me a favor and put up the link, I'd be so appreciative. And there you can get access to all those inexpensive hotels, from one-star hotels to some nice hostels, all the way to luxury hotels. All right, let's disembark. So not as accessible. You do require steps to get up here, so do keep that in mind. I'm not sure if they offer help, but do keep that in mind. Steps were required to enter. Carlos dice que bueno verlo de nuevo. Oh, mi placer. Qué bien que te están encantando estos videos. Para todo el mundo viendo en español, estoy explorando París esta pasada semana. Tú puedes ver todos estos videos repetidos en YouTube. Y ahora hicimos un recorrido por bote aquí en París.
Go ahead.
So right here, it's right by the Alma stop on the metro. I think it was the 9 line. And this is the boat company you're looking for. This is their only stop. There are stops for other boat companies in other places. I've been to Bateau Bus, I like that as well, but this one does not stop. It's just a sightseeing cruise for 1 hour, about an hour, 10 minutes, a little bit longer. And then the ticketing office closes at 10:30. I think the last ride is about 10:30. So you can buy tickets a little bit earlier. Right over here. And they have ticket machines right next to here. Ticket machines as well. Jay says, great Italian language, yeah. And they announced the time. Right here. So right now, screenshot this link, save it when you do book a hotel, save it right now, write it down, or screenshot this, and you'll have access to some great hotel deals. It's great for both of us because you end up getting some big discounts, but also get commission off your hotel stays. So if you want to support the show, at the same time while getting a great deal, you can do that. And it's basically booking.com, but I got the hookup. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. This was an amazing live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know what you would want to see in Europe in the future. Love this continent, this area of Europe is always a blast. And stay tuned. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Western European time, 9 a.m. New York City time. And next week, the same thing for Friday and Saturday. And the other live stream is random. Everyone, keep being awesome. And always, always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Au revoir, mes amis.